Hello all, my name is Krishnak and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today we are going to actually see an approach that should be taken by a non-technical or a non-programmer person to become a data scientist. And this entire video is based on a recent conversation that I had with my recent subscriber who actually followed this particular approach and currently is working as a data scientist. Yes, the initial way, like it actually has taken him time, but the path that he has actually taken, I'm just going to discuss about that, and probably I feel this particular path is quite more efficient. So let's go ahead, let's proceed. And the first step that you should basically be taking, suppose if you're from a non-programming background, focus on actually becoming a data analyst. Now I'll tell you like how do you become a data analyst, what should be the roadmap over here, and then why this will be very important, because understand guys, initially when you are a non-programmer, probably you don't have any experience in programming. You don't have that much maths knowledge with respect to statistics, extensive maths. Usually non-programmers or people belonging from non-technical problem faces those kind of problem. So he basically said me that, okay, Krish, the first step that I followed is that I focused on becoming a data analyst initially. So he also worked for some amount of time as a data analyst. Then only he was able to make a move towards data science. Okay, so first step was basically from non-programmer to data analyst, and the second step, which was the final step, was actually from data analyst to data scientist. Now, why I'll tell you why this particular approach is very good. And I also feel after having a conversation with him that I felt that yes, this approach definitely will suit the non-technical and non-programmer people. Okay, so let's see what all things are important in this. And first of all, let's follow this particular approach. Why becoming a data analyst will definitely help you to become a data scientist if you are specifically from a non-technical, non-programming background. So if you know the what is the work of a data analyst, first of all you need to understand. So here I've just defined a life cycle of a data science project, guys. So initially you have a project, you do the requirement gatherings, and probably I have made a in-depth video regarding this complete roadmap to become a data analyst. And then in the requirement gathering, the product owner or the domain expertise along with the business analyst, they will try to gather the requirement of that specific project, and they will try to understand that what all things they want to implement. Okay, after that, that entire requirement is sent to a data analyst or a data scientist, and these people will actually then decide that what kind of data is required to solve that particular problem. They'll try to analyze, and they'll try to do a whole lot of things with respect to this. And after that, they'll be having a discussion with the product owner expertise to find out which all data, whether we should retrieve the data from the third party, or do we need to create a big data setup, do we require a live stream kind of data. And there's so many steps that probably is basically taken in this life cycle of a data science project. Before going ahead with respect to this particular video, this video has been sponsored by Unacademy. So Unacademy has come up with its various competitive programming batches. So here you can see some of the competitive programming batches like C++ Conquest 2021, Python Conquest 2021, Java Conquest 2021. You can also see complete course to become an expert level in programming and many more. Definitely this all batches will actually help you to become very much good in programming language and an expert in competitive programming. This all is an initiative of Code Chef, and here you can also try out some of the problem statements from beginner to easy to medium to hard to challenge to peer, which will basically be completely for free. So you just have to click on this particular problem statement, and you can basically try it out by yourself, and then you'll also be able to get your accuracy score. Apart from this, guys, you can also check out the educators of Unacademy, who are some amazing people who are working in various MNCs. Like let's take an example of Sanket Singh is working in LinkedIn. You have Tanuj Khattar, you have Arjun Arul, Pulkit Chabra, you have Surya Kiran Adori, you have Riya Bansal who is working at Flipkart. Apart from this, guys, you can also check out some of the sessions from them, which is live session, which is an interactive session.
Okay.
And here is what I'm playing for another 5
Now, can
seconds.
you guys see
So
that?
this is just one example about one of the session. And if you really want to check it out, I'll provide all the information in the description of this particular video. Please go and check it out and try to use the free courses that is provided by them. But we will focus more on the data analyst over here, because since we are discussing about data analyst. So let's go. First of all, what programming languages to focus on? Like usually if you are from a non-programming background, right, and first step is always try to learn a programming language. Okay, now if you are planning to become a data analyst initially, if you are taking this specific path, obviously you know that and since you know the final goal is data science, you basically know that the two best programming language with respect to this is Python and R programming language. I would suggest go with Python if you are aiming for data science. If you just want to be till there and till the data analyst, I would suggest go with R programming language. So Python is really a very good programming language, simple programming language, and this will actually give you some time. When you're following this particular approach, you will become good at Python. Once you know Python, definitely your confidence will be built up. And this Python programming, I'm not saying you to learn a C++ kind of programming language for non-programmers. Trust me, Python will be very, very easy for you, even though you don't have any experience in C and C++. Yes, I have seen people where people have actually, from non-programming background, they have efficiently learned Python, they have efficiently learned OOPS concepts and many more things, and they were able to understand. Okay, so the first step coming along with the data analyst is that you need to learn Python, okay, or R programming language, but I'd suggest go with Python because this will actually also help you in the upcoming deep learning things and all, in advanced deep learning things, in creating web application and many more things. Now, the next thing, a data analyst learns also some of the business intelligence tool, because they need to analyze the data, they need to visualize the data efficiently. The reason, see, if I talk about the business intelligence tool, there are a lot of business intelligence tools like Tableau, Power BI, ClickView, Dundas BI, Pentaho, and many more, right? And most famous is basically Power BI and Tableau. A lot of requirements are there with respect to any companies. Now, why this business intelligence tool will give you a very, very good base, to become a data scientist, because see, this is a part of a data analyst. Now, by using this business intelligence tool, you will try to analyze the data, you'll try to visualize the data, and with the help of that, you'll be able to understand so many things related to data. And when you're learning that, right, usually non-technical and non-programmers say that, Krish, we are very, very weak at maths. Sometimes we don't like maths. But when you're doing this visualization stuffs with respect to the data, and when you learn any mathematical thing at that specific point of time, trust me, it will be pretty much amazing, because now you are having something practical. And let me tell you one thing, why people say that they don't like maths, right? Trust me in this is that initially I also used to not like maths, but just understand that when you're learning maths, if you're able to see it, if you're able to visualize it, if you're able to feel it, trust me in this, you will be loving maths like anything. Now, if I'm talking about Tableau and Power BI with respect to analysis, with respect to visualization, a lot of concepts related to statistics will come into picture. At that time, you don't have to much deep dive into everything that is related to maths like we do it in machine learning or deep learning algorithms. But simple statistics stuff, statistical analysis you will be actually doing. Okay, still you're not deep diving entirely into the maths. Yes, whatever things you can actually visualize it, we can actually analyze it. Trust me, with respect to that, whatever statistics concepts you'll be learning, you will be able to understand. I have also worked in Tableau, guys. At one point of time, I worked at Tableau. I was able to make my statistics very, very strong through that. Okay, that is the reason this particular step that subscriber has also spoken to me in this way only, because this was the base that actually created, and I loved maths after that. Right now, coming to the next thing, similarly, you can see that this kind of reports that you see right in the right hand side, you are able to see product sales, quantity by product name. Then you have some kind of bar charts over here with respect to sales and profit. Now, if you really want to apply any kind of formula, at least you are able to understand, right? And by seeing that, obviously mathematics will be very, very easy for you, right? Similarly, this is with respect to Power BI reports. I've also shown you some of the Tableau reports over here. You can see different types of graphs with respect to sales, visualization, everything, right? A lot of statistical analysis you can do from this, guys. Okay, so this was an example, and now just understand how your base is getting stronger now. Okay, now once you're comfortable with it, what are the technical skills required as a data analyst? Basic maths and statistics. See, I have written over here clearly basic maths and statistics. So you require programming skills, domain knowledge, data understanding, ETL tool knowledge, Power Query for Power BI, identifying the structured and unstructured data. Now see, guys, over here you will also get introduced to unstructured data. So this is a very good base for a data scientist, because in data scientist you may get any kind of data, but here you're just getting some kind of structured and unstructured data so that you will be able to analyze it and work on that, right? Obviously, apart from this, you'll also be having the knowledge with respect to SQL. You'll be introduced to databases and all, right? So and he should be also very good at exploratory data analysis. So EDA, analyzing the data. This is all about analyzing how the data is there, how it is basically distributed, and based on that, whatever statistics concepts will be coming, you'll be able to learn that, right? Now coming to this, what kind of career prospects you can have? It is not like the person who are choosing for data analyst, they will be getting some less salary job and all. Yes, there are a lot of amazing data analyst people who are getting some amazing salary when compared to data science also. You know, even in, if you know about IPL cricket teams and all, they are data analysts over there. They will be checking the performance of each and every player, how they are performing, and based on that they decide whether the next match of the IPL needs to be played or not. So all these things has been done, guys. Okay, so some of the data analyst career prospects: budget analyst, credit analyst, in finance, amazing data analysts. I've seen it with my own eyes. They do amazing work. You know, they are an expert with respect to data. Okay, so you can read all this kind of analyst career prospects. Now some of the non-technical skills that are required by them is that you should be a good storyteller. Now here you're building your base, guys. Good storyteller is also required in data science. You know, you should be very good at research, communication skills should be very good, problem solving, and many more things, right? Now coming to the next step, transition from a data analyst to a data scientist, right? So this is also very important. Now here, when we see this, guys, when I'm discussing about this entire life cycle of a data science project, we have seen that after requirement gathering, what you do is that the data analyst or data scientist will think that how we should collect the data, and that is also done with the discussion with the domain expertise and product owner. And finally, once they collect the data, they'll be efficiently able to store it in some databases, like to be a big data engineer. Or suppose if they are dependent on cloud or third party, they'll try to take out a mechanism how to live stream that specific data and store it in the databases. And that is what the big data engineering team will do, right? Now, if we go one step ahead, with respect to this is the life cycle of a data science project for data analyst. The data analyst will take this, he'll do some EDA, he'll create some reporting, and he'll then provide to the stakeholders. Then the stakeholder will make a decision that what all things they can actually do. You know, one example is that suppose we need to open an ATM machine in a new area, right? And probably based on the transaction, based on the amount of transaction, the data analyst will try to create a report and send it to the stakeholder. Then the stakeholder will decide, okay, do we need to open the ATM over there by just seeing this particular reports? This is just one example that I want to take. Now let's go towards this. This is the life cycle of our entire data science project, guys. We do a lot of things with respect to data scientists, like feature engineering. Now we are towards data analyst to data science. Now see, as a data analyst, you have made your basic stats and maths concepts very good. You know how to analyze the data. You know, you have understood everything about the data with respect to reporting, with respect to things. Only if you are interested to become a data scientist, then you take this path from data analyst to data scientist. But in this particular path, you have two options to go. One, either you can become a data analyst. The other thing is that you can either become a data scientist. But obviously, I've seen some people who have actually become a data analyst. They tend to move towards data science. Okay, so in this particular case, you'll be able to see that you'll be having the life cycle of a data science project. Now, this is the phase, guys. See, in feature engineering, these all steps are specifically done by a data scientist. A data analyst cannot do it. So in this case, you will be doing feature engineering, feature selection, model creation, hyperparameter tuning. You'll be doing model deployment. You'll be doing model retraining approaches, and many more things. Now here comes much more in-depth maths. Okay, so now here you'll be requiring advanced stats concepts. Till now, as a data analyst, you had basic stats concept. Now you are very good at that. You have that particular base thing. Now when you see this new thing, again, with respect to visualization, you can also do feature engineering and all. There are a lot of tools and libraries in Python which will actually help you to do this. One example is EDA, handling missing value in feature engineering, handling outliers, categorical encoding, normalization, standardization, and many more steps. Similarly, in feature selection, you tend to find out that which all features are important. Now here you require some advanced stats concepts. Now since your base is already good, now it is okay to learn some newer things. It will nothing be newer to you. You just have to put some more effort, and yes, you will be able to take this particular path. Then you can see model creation, hyperparameter tuning. These all are steps. Now here, when you will be learning about machine learning algorithm, you will be requiring some more advanced maths concepts. A lot of concepts. One of the concepts with respect to different let me take an example like Euclidean distance, all this kind of concepts. What is gradient descent? What is linear regression, logistic regression? How does it work, and all kind of thing. But since your base is strong, now you'll be pretty much happier to learn this. Your programming was good over there because as a data analyst, you'll be requiring to only do some EDA things and all. So that way, your programming is already strong, I would suggest, and then only you will be able to move into this, right? So this was the entire thing. And with respect to this, you can also see that what are programming language to focus on. Becoming a data scientist is basically Python, Julia programming, R programming, and all. Databases, MongoDB. Probably as a data analyst, I think you should have worked on MySQL and MongoDB. And here I've just added some more databases and all, which is just like, you know, similarly, like this S3 bucket, again, it's just like big data. You can put any amount of data over there. MongoDB is a NoSQL. Cassandra is a NoSQL database. MySQL is a SQL database itself, right? So libraries and tools, obviously everybody knows about the libraries and some additional things that you'll be learning: NumPy, Pandas, sklearn, Matplotlib, SkyPy, Keras, NVIDIA CUDA. Here you'll also be learning with respect to how to use the GPUs, because that will be very important in order to train your neural networks and all. The final thing that I'd like to suggest is that if you're planning to become either a data analyst or a data scientist, you should have one property, one skill, that is you need to learn continuously. You should never stop learning continuously, guys, because tomorrow a new problem statement will come, new statistical concepts you probably need to apply. Sometimes you need to create your own machine learning algorithms, so you have to keep on learning every day. So this is the most important thing that I wanted to tell everyone. So I hope you have got an idea like how a non-technical or non-programmer can move towards data science. And the strategy should be that if you're a non-technical or non-programmer, first of all, focus on becoming a data analyst. You will get sufficient time to understand the subject, understand the programming language, understand maths, understand stats, and then the next step should be actually becoming a data analyst to data scientist. So just let me know in the comment section, guys, whether you like this particular approach or not. And it would be very good that I could get this specific feedback, because this is the conversation that I had with my subscriber who's currently working as a data scientist. And I feel good that he was able to do it, you know. And recently I've made so many transition videos. There also you could see that many non-technical non-programmers were able to make this, right? So I hope you like this particular video. Please just subscribe the channel if you're not already subscribed. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you, Wanda. Bye bye.